Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the 2xU Propel wetsuit for men and for women, which is a swimming wetsuit, but also classed as a triathlon wetsuit, and specifically geared up for people who don't want to spend a crazy amount of money but want a good quality wetsuit. So what we're going to do is walk you through some of the features of the suit and tell you what all the jargon means and how that'll actually affect you in terms of how the wetsuit performs in the water. Okay, so starting off with the neoprene, which is the primary thing you need to be worried about when you're buying a tri or swim wetsuit, is how much of the really good quality neoprene that you get. And when we say good quality neoprene, the neoprene that the 2xU suit uses is the Yamamoto 39 cell neoprene. And what that actually means is how many air bubbles there are within the neoprene itself within a certain area. And so the 39 cell is quite a high count of those little bubbles, which gives it loads more flexibility. It gives it that really gooey, soft feeling that you want from a swimming wetsuit or a tri wetsuit. So with this suit, you get the 39 cell Yamamoto neoprene, which is the really high grade stuff that everyone sort of recommends, through the front and the back of the wetsuit. Further up the suit is a bit thinner, so you've got two sort of different thicknesses of the suit, if you like. Further down, you've got the thicker neoprene, which I believe is 5mm. That 5mm neoprene is where you need to retain heat inside the suit, but principally it gives you buoyancy as well. Okay, so what this suit will do is give you plenty of buoyancy around the heavier parts of your body. So you're talking your torso, your bum, that sort of like part of the suit that needs a bit more lift when you're swimming. Okay, now this won't be for everyone. Some people prefer to have a neutral suit which won't have a lot of buoyancy because they have really good natural swimming posture. But for most of us, any assistance just to sort of raise your bum up, give you a better posture in the water will make you more efficient, make your swimming stroke more efficient, and you'll find it makes a huge difference in terms of how far you can swim and how comfortable you are in the water. So it does two things. You get that buoyancy and the lift, and as we mentioned before, it will give you additional warmth as well. So people that are looking to start swimming earlier in the year are really going to appreciate this when the water temperature is still quite cold. Having that thicker neoprene not only gives you the buoyancy but gives you that warmth as well, which is particularly good in UK waters and kind of makes this a cold water swimming suit, which is particularly useful. All around the upper body, you get a thinner neoprene and you get loads of sort of flexibility there. That's where you need it. Okay, now one sort of technical thing you might have noticed when you're reading the description of the suit, it's got like a roll bar system, and basically that means the paneling of the neoprene itself, okay, which we'll go into now. But essentially what it means is just the thinner part of the suit around the side here, around the sort of edges, or the more the peripheral part of the suits where you need a little bit more flexibility and you have more movement, is a bit thinner. So it's called like the roll bar system, but essentially just allows more flexibility where you need it, essentially. But going back to the paneling itself, you can see the thing that we're most impressed about with this suit, for sort of like a mid-range wetsuit, a lot of the time the paneling isn't that great with a lot of manufacturers, but 2xU have really nailed it. They've got really nice paneling. The seams really match the contours of the body. Nice big pieces of neoprene, so minimal seams where you don't want them, so more flexibility. That rings around the back of the suit, and you get this huge piece of neoprene around the middle, and this is actually what's called the floating zip, and it basically means that the zip is kind of isolated on one panel, and so you still get lots of flexibility through the back of the suit, and the zip running through it doesn't really affect that flexibility. That's what that means, the floating zip. So all of the paneling is really carefully thought about, and in terms of where the thicker neoprene is and everything like that as well. So that is the floating zip running through the back. Now obviously the suit itself is fully sealed, so any of the seams are fully sort of glued and blind stitched, which means that don't let any water in through the seams, which is really important with a good quality trial swimming wetsuit, because you don't want to be taking on water. You want to stay as light and non-absorbent as you can in the water. Non-absorbency as well is covered with the SCS coating, which you might have read about, which is common in most tri suits these days. It's just basically a coating on this single dyed neoprene, that smooth neoprene, which makes it more hydrophobic, so it takes on less water. And actually glides through the water a bit easier as well, so less friction. Moving around the back of the suit again, we open up the zip. The zip is a nice big deep back zip. Okay, there's a few things on the suit which help with your transitions when you're doing a triathlon, so that big zip will help with that. Opens up really wide, much easier to get the suit on and off quickly. Okay, and that's the same around the ankles as well. You've got that sort of like cut in ankle there as well, and it's nice and sort of loose around there. It makes it easier to get it over your foot and slip your foot through without damaging the wetsuit and helping you speed up your transitions when you're doing any sort of triathlon. Okay, so that's a nice little feature. These things are thought about through the suit. But essentially the key things within the suit that make it great value for money are the seam placement. Okay, the floating zip is a really nice feature. The quality of neoprene is the highest thing, that Yamamoto 39 cell, and the really sort of gooey, soft feeling that you wouldn't normally get in a wetsuit around this sort of price range. In the upper body, so loads of flexibility, loads of comfort, and if the fit's good, it should just feel like a second skin. And then you do get that thicker neoprene where you need it as well, and it's plenty of buoyancy in the suit. It's quite a floaty suit. So if you're like most of us and you could do with a bit of assistance with your sort of posture in the water, then this is going to be particularly good for you. So all in all, the Propel wetsuit for men and for women. Women is the same sort of paneling, everything like that, obviously just cut different for ladies. Is really, really good for people that just want an all-round wetsuit. That's going to be good for cold water swimming, good for triathlons, good for open water swimming, and could do with a little bit of help with their posture. Could do with the additional sort of thermal properties of the thicker neoprene, and don't want to spend a huge amount of money, but do want a really good quality wetsuit. Then we'd strongly recommend the two times you Propel.